There once was a man in ancient Rome who spent much of his early life as a slave. His name was Epictetus, and by the time he was finally freed, he had already learned something most people spend their entire lives trying to understand: the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. He went on to teach philosophy to crowds of students, though he never wrote anything down himself. Everything we know of his teaching comes from a devoted student named Arrian, who quietly copied down his lectures so they wouldn't be lost. The result was a short, plain little handbook, meant to be carried close and read often. Not a grand theory, just practical advice for getting through an ordinary life with a steady heart. He began with the one idea he considered more important than any other. Some things, he said, are entirely up to us: our judgments, our choices, our own effort and character. Everything else, our body, our possessions, our reputation, the actions of other people, belongs to a different category entirely. Not ours. Never truly ours, no matter how tightly we try to hold on. Confuse these two categories, he warned, and you will spend your whole life disturbed, frustrated, blaming others for things only you were ever truly responsible for. But sort them correctly, hold loosely to what isn't yours, and take full ownership of what is, and something in you settles. Nothing external can really touch you anymore, not in the deep places. Epictetus liked to remind his students of something simple, almost embarrassingly obvious once you actually sit with it. It is not events themselves that disturb people, he said. It is their opinions about those events. Death, for example, is nothing terrible in itself, otherwise it would have seemed terrible to Socrates too. What made it seem terrible was only the opinion that it was terrible. So whenever we feel troubled or upset, he taught, the honest thing to do is not to blame the outside world, but to look inward and examine the judgment we've quietly added on top of whatever happened. This isn't about pretending bad things are actually good. It's about noticing how much of our suffering comes from the story we tell ourselves about an event, rather than the event itself. He also taught his students to rehearse difficult moments in their minds ahead of time, gently, not anxiously. If you're about to take a long journey, he said, think in advance about what might happen along the way. If you're about to face a difficult person, remind yourself beforehand of the kind of behavior you might encounter. Not to worry, but so that when difficulty actually arrives, you meet it as something expected, not as some unbearable surprise. A person prepared this way, he thought, moves through the world far more calmly than one who assumes everything should always go smoothly. Epictetus offered his students a small, memorable image to carry with them. Life, he said, is something like being an actor in a play. The playwright, fate, circumstance, whatever you'd like to call it, decides the role. Whether the part is long or short, whether you play a wealthy man or a poor one, a ruler or a servant. None of that casting is up to you, but how well you play the role you've been given, that is entirely yours to determine. He didn't want his students wasting their energy wishing for a different part in the play. He wanted them focused entirely on playing their actual part with as much grace, patience, and integrity as they could manage. He was equally direct about other people's opinions of us. If someone speaks badly of you, he said, don't rush to defend yourself. Simply say, they clearly don't know the rest of what's true about me, or they would have mentioned other faults as well. There's a quiet freedom in this not caring so desperately what others think. Frees up an enormous amount of energy that most people spend, uselessly, trying to manage everyone else's impression of them. Toward the end of his teaching, Epictetus returned to something gentler, what an actual well-lived life looks like, day to day. He didn't imagine a dramatic, extraordinary existence. He imagined something quieter. A person who eats simply, without complaint, who greets both success and setback with roughly the same steady expression, who neither desperately seeks praise nor is unsettled by criticism. He believed most human unhappiness came from wanting things to be other than they are, wishing illness didn't exist, wishing loss never happened, wishing other people always behaved exactly as we'd prefer. Instead, he suggested a strange, freeing alternative. Don't demand that events happen as you wish. Wish, instead, that events happen as they actually do. Then your life will flow smoothly. He closed his teaching with a kind of quiet challenge, not asking his students to believe anything blindly, but to actually practice these ideas a little each day, the way you'd practice any skill worth having. Philosophy, for him, was never meant to just be discussed. It was meant to be lived, tested, practiced quietly in the small, ordinary moments of an actual life. So perhaps that's what's worth carrying from him tonight. Sort what's yours from what isn't. Meet whatever comes with a steady heart. Play your part well, whatever part it happens to be. And then, gently let the day go.